and dreamers open the gate. Super cross stands loud, proud and true, building tomorrow for me and you.
Welcome, everyone. I am so excited to have you here today. We've got just a really special guest with us today. Our guest is Mara McLoughlin. McLoughlin. She's the founder of IRL Social Skills, and I'm still learning, so you have to forgive me. But Mara, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Devin. It's good to be here.
Well, we're thrilled to have you and excited to talk to you to learn more about IRL Social Skills. You're also running a crowdfunding campaign. We'll come back and talk to you about that a little bit. But tell us about IRL Social Skills. What is this?
Yeah, IRL Social Skills stands for in real life. It is a program for autistic and other socially struggling teens, young adults, and older adults to learn the skills to initiate, cultivate, and sustain relationships.
I think all of us need that, but your focus is on helping folks who are neurodivergent. Is that fair to say? A lot of your folks are on the autism spectrum. Is that right?
That's correct. Autistic, ADHD, social anxiety. We know that these neurodivergences and the lack of social interaction, social communication, the lack of having friends it impacts one's mental health. So, we offer a community-based, proactive approach to mental health so that our participants get the opportunity to learn these skills in a safe space with other people who are also struggling, who are also brave enough to say, yeah, I want to learn how to better navigate this strange, sensational social world in which we find ourselves all the time. In addition to that, we also teach the parents or caregivers. So we're training environments so that there's better generalization or carryover of these skills in real life.
Yeah, it seems to me that it's just a vital part of the sort of becoming more fully integrated into the community to be able to interact better. And all of us need help with that. I don't think anybody doesn't. I don't want to, make too big a deal, but it seems to me that the folks you serve oftentimes have a special need to learn and how to do that better, right? Can
Yeah,
you share a success story with us, perhaps?
Oh my gosh. Well, there's so many. We launched in March of 2021, in the heat of the pandemic, when people were really suffering, and taught over 250 families right now since that time. One example, there's so many examples, a teen saying, I used to not have friends and now I do. And that's a really big deal. An adult saying, I participated in this program so that I could learn skills to help me in a mental health profession. And as I'm doing that, I am working in the tech industry, and I have really developed skills that I can use in customer service, in relating with my colleagues, and I'll remember them for the rest of my life. That's what they say.
Yeah, it really seems, I keep coming back to this point, but I think all of us need some of this coaching. Can you give us maybe a specific example or two of some of the concepts that you teach that we could all use to be better have better social skills?
Absolutely. So, you think about the dreaded small talk, right? And like, oh God, I don't want to talk about the weather the whole time. And we think of this more in terms of like a tactical strategy of trading information to find common interests, because friendships are based on common interests. You are, more likely to find someone who shares your common interest if you participate in activities that you like, that you enjoy, that you're good at. Because whatever you're into, other people are into it. And you have to cultivate those initiation skills. Ask a question, make a comment, give a compliment. When you are trying to, do this search party to find a common interest, you're going to ask a question, ask a follow-up question, answer your own question. And answering your own question is really critical because you want to give the other person something to go off of, that verbal volley, the reciprocal conversation skills that you want. And that's really the foundation. When we are younger, a lot younger, like in elementary school, preschool, our social interaction is more based in play. But then we get to middle school and something changes, and our social interaction is more based in conversation. But these skills, especially for neurodivergent people, um, they need to be directly and explicitly taught. And we are not teaching the skills to like put on your best normal, right? And pretend like you're someone else. We're teaching the skills so that other people can know you and you can more easily find where you belong, not just where you fit in, right? But where you belong.
I think this is those are great insights, and uh, I think about I really don't like going to the dentist, and yet I think about going to kind of the cocktail reception at a conference
Mhm.
as almost as bad as going to the it's close, right? It's just, you know, and so you talk about how to make small talk, and I think that's really, really helpful. Now, one of your tips was to give a compliment. I
Mhm.
really struggle with this in 2024, right? Because it seems like so many things are now sort of off limits and appropriately off
Yeah,
limits, right?
right.
Uh, you know, so what are some of the compliments you coach people to use that are not off limits, that are appropriate? How do you engage with people in that way with that? Uh, because I think a compliment is a powerful tool. How do you
Yep.
use one safely?
Yeah, a compliment makes people feel friendly towards you. If they're from the neck up, right? If they are related to like someone's style, for example, someone's smile, the sound of someone's voice, even what they're wearing. Whatever we're wearing, we're sending a message, either consciously or unconsciously, about who we are. And we want to be able to even use those, these signals, these nonverbal cues, as a way to um, invite people who are into the same things that we are. For example, you're wearing like a concert t-shirt, right? You're wearing an anime t-shirt. You're wearing like cool kicks, or a sticker on your water bottle or on your backpack. You're signaling, where are my people? Who likes what I like? And those are some really great things to notice about others. And you want them to be genuine. You're not just, throwing out compliments right and left in the hope of, someone's going to be receptive. You want to be strategic and sincere in these compliments. We know that 80% of communication is nonverbal. I'm a speech language pathologist, so my profession is, helping people, especially autistic and other socially struggling people, with the skills of social interaction and social communication. That's what we do as a profession, among many other parts in our scope of practice.
Yeah, I think it's it's really helpful to talk through some of these issues, and I appreciate you guiding us a little bit on safe compliments. As you think about this work, it seems to me that the social leads into the romantic, um, and those are can be scary, dangerous waters for people who are new to that. It's scary and dangerous for every 13-year-old in the history of the planet. How do you help guide your folks through through those early stages of romance?
Yeah, so that's a really great question, Devin. And what we encourage is, how do you be more than friends unless you're friends first? You really have to work on those basic friendship skills. When somebody, we get a lot of people who have never had a friend. They have one friend. They used to have friends, but they lost their friends. And something they think maybe it's me. And so they want to um improve those basic foundational friendship skills, having successful get-togethers, even just going out for ice cream. That's a short and sweet get together, building tolerance for being with other people. I mean, you never know what other people are going to do, right? So you want to have kind of a more predictable setting, with a time frame, if you're to build up that tolerance. And yeah, that's what we tell. We know that autistic and other neurodivergent people are more susceptible to social exploitation and abuse, financial exploitation, because of the social naivete. So we teach not only the skills for cultivating those relationships, step by step. It's a process. We also teach what are called um, interoception skills. So, how do feelings feel in the body? What do those feelings mean? Why is it important to pay attention to them? Well, it's important for health, it's important for safety, and it is fundamental to our relationships with other people as well as with ourselves, right? I'll give you an example. We talk about all of these different sensations. Oh, it warmed my heart. It was a heartbreak. Oh, I got goosebumps. Oh, I got butterflies in my stomach. And are those like good butterflies or bad butterflies? The body speaks in sensation. So we want to learn how to drop into our nervous system, right? Which is our brain and our body, to um, be able to receive the messages that our body is sending us. A lot of us tend to be pretty neck up, right? We're pretty much about what are we thinking instead of how our body is feeling. And our body, has so much wisdom to share with us, and being able to teach people how to be more in tune to their own physical sensations is really powerful and resourcing for their capacity. If you don't want to blow up your relationships by like flying off the handle, you know, you want to be able to be like, oh, okay, what strategies can I use in this moment so that I don't jeopardize my relationships?
Yeah, that's brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. And I want to be clear. I think a lot in the audience will anticipate that when you talk about this kind of service, you're talking about a nonprofit, but your business is not a nonprofit. You charge fees, you generate revenues, you're targeting some profits, uh, and now you're raising capital, uh, investment capital, not donations. You're raising investment capital, offering people a return. Tell us a little bit about how people can learn more about that offering.
Well, people can go to the smbx.com website, where you can learn about their offerings. Our offering is on there. We have really we're doing a raise and it's going really well. So I just recommend you go to this link down here and check it out.
Yeah, we've got that short link, s4g.biz/IRL. That'll take you directly to the SMBX website page with the offering, but it's there aren't so many offerings on SMBX that you couldn't find it if you just visited thesmbx.com. So check it out. Listen, folks, I'm thrilled to have with us today Mara McLoughlin of IRL Social Skills. What a great guest. She's just doing some of the coolest things, and we're excited to have her. We're going to take a quick break now, and when we come back, we'll talk to her about her superpowers. You don't want to miss this.
You can get in on the ground floor to help fix the climate crisis for as little as $100. Pause now to scan the QR code to get started or visit s4g.biz/raisegreen. You can be a green at Raise Green.
Want to learn from the world's great changemakers? Find your superpower. Subscribe to the Superpowers for Good newsletter at superpowersforgood.com. Make your strengths into superpowers that will change the world. Join the super crowd today. Superpowers4good.com.
Hope to raise money from the impact crowd. Good investors are as interested in community, social or environmental impact as you. Connect with Funding Hope, an SEC-registered FINRA member crowdfunding portal to learn how to raise capital from the impact crowd. Scan the QR code now.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm just having such a delightful time today with Mara McLoughlin. She is our guest. She is the founder of IRL Social Skills. It's essentially an online school to help people who are neurodivergent to become more adept at interacting with the world they live in. But we're going to shift gears now to talk to her about her superpower. So stick around. You don't want to miss the rest of this conversation. Mara, we're so thrilled to have you here today. I love what you're doing and so admire the impact you're having and the success you're having with this business. What do you see as your superpower?
Honestly, my superpower is my empathy. I'm very empathetic. That's just how I've been my whole life. I don't like to see people alone. We're no good alone. It honestly hurts my heart when I, was working in the schools and I would see students who were just by themselves. And these are like amazing people who just needed to refine their skills so that people could know them, so that they could be known for however, all of their awesomeness. I've just been like that my whole life. I would see other kids alone at school and I would be like, oh, you should come sit with me. Oh, you've never been to a sleepover? You can come to my house for a sleepover. Oh, you've never been to a birthday party? You should come to my birthday party. I'm just an inclusionist to the core. And yeah, I mean, really, we need each other. And this is how we build a better world. So that's why I'm doing this business.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I think empathy is one of those things that is really, I think, natural to everyone a little bit, and yet in some ways we are socialized away from it in a variety of subtle and not so subtle ways. Can you think of an example in your life where, because of your empathy and employing that in a way, that you were able to do or accomplish something you're proud of?
Yes. So I actually had my partner had a stroke and he was unable to speak. And I, of course, wasn't going to leave him. And it was a really, really, really hard situation. He struggled for a long time to get his speech back. And in the meantime, I was doing everything I could to help him regain, the gift of gab. And because of my empathy, and because I kind of knew my way around keeping around documentation, I was able to document his attempts to return to work. He was working for a multi-billion-dollar corporation at the time, and they were not giving him the accommodations that he needed in order to return to work. And ultimately, based on all of the documentation that I had assembled, he won a settlement from that employer because they didn't follow the interactive process to have him come back to work. And it was interesting because my background was with working with non-speaking autistic students, getting them an effective way to express themselves. And so I already had all of this experience helping a non-speaking person be able to communicate. Autistic people who can't speak, it's not because there's an intellectual disability. Same with someone who's had a stroke. It's not an intellectual disability, depending on the kind of the stroke. What it is something called apraxia, which is the difficulty in coordinating the fine motor movements of speech. Like there's a disconnect between the brain and like your tongue, teeth, lips, your articulators, in order to speak. And so that really takes a lot of practice to be able to make those brain patterns come back. And yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. I think that's a really powerful story. Wow. And so I really appreciate you sharing that. It's just such a powerful example of how you could parlay empathy into something so tangible. Great example. Great example. I think all of us who are watching, right, we we come with a desire to make the world a better place. That's why we're here. But we often don't know how. And I think we recognize that greater empathy would help us do that more effectively. How can we build and develop that muscle of empathy more effectively?
What an amazing question. Just the reflecting on how would I feel if the situation were reversed, and really being able to like let that, not just how I would think about it, but how I would feel. How would it feel in my body if I didn't have any friends? How would it feel in my body if I really wanted to connect with people, but I kept on getting rejected and I didn't know why? How would it feel in my body if I got fired from my job for giving a compliment that was off limits, but I didn't know and no one told me? It's hard to do. It's the old put yourself in someone else's shoes, walk a mile in their moccasins. And it's hard to do. And it really has to not be just like a concept. It has to be felt somatically by the body. How would that make me feel?
Yeah, I think that's helpful, and I really appreciate you guiding us a little bit because it's such an important thing. Well, listen, as we wrap up here, I wonder if you would take a minute and explain to people how they can sign up for a class or refer a friend or connect with you personally or on social media, how they can learn more about IRL, and of course, how they can learn more about the SMBX offering that you've got going right now.
Yeah, so you can find me at my website, irlsocialskills.com. I'm on social media, on Instagram at IRL Social Skills, same on Facebook, same on LinkedIn. You can also find my personal profile on LinkedIn. I interact with a lot of actually autistic researchers and advocates in that space, and I really get to learn a lot in those conversations. And as for the SMBX, you can go to the smbx.com website and search for IRL Social Skills, and then you can find out more about the raise there.
Great. And also the short link here on the screen, s4g.biz/IRL, will take you directly to the offering. So I I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Again, I love what you're doing and want to wish you every success. So, again, thank you very, very much for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you, Devin.
All righty. Now, let's do some good.